Hey guys, looks like it's beer 30. Let's go see what's in the fridge today. Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. Hey, we got us another bottle of Three Floyds Blackheart English IPA. Guys, I reviewed this quite a while back. This was beer review 11/15. So, not quite 1,000 beers ago, but 900 and some anyway. And Kyle had sent me the original bottle, and it got pushed back in the fridge and got moved around, and I ended up keeping it for a couple of months before I finally reviewed it. And as much as I harp about having IPAs fresh, it was my fault for not reviewing that beer sooner, and I apologize to him then on that beer review for not reviewing it sooner, and I'm apologizing to Kyle again for not reviewing that beer sooner. But I still gave it a 9 out of 10. It was a damn tasty beer. Jeff sent me this one, and this is a real fresh bottle. This has got bottled on May the 3rd of 2016. So it's just a tad over a month old, and I just got this bottle not long ago. I haven't had it more than a week or so. So maybe 2 weeks, something like that. He just sent me the package, and I wanted to review this one a little bit more timely. So that's what we're going to do here. Right off the bat, guys, it has no ABV listed on the bottle. Beer Advocate has it listed as 8.5, and Rate Beer has it listed as 9. I didn't go to the website to find out. It needs to be on the bottle. They need to print that ABV on the bottle, and I'm calling them out for that right now. Print it on the freaking bottle, guys. It needs to be on there. And like I said, this original review was 11/15, and I'm at well over 2,050 now. By the time you see this, it may be 2075 because I'm a couple of weeks ahead of time. But I wanted to re-review this one really quick because I just got it not long ago. So, but I got a feeling it's going to be pretty good, and they are at least dating their stuff. But I would like to see the ABV on it somewhere. How are you going to know unless you look it up on their site? And then if you go to Beer Advocate and Rate Beer, they got two different ABVs listed. So it's either 8.5 or 9 unless they've changed it again. So, well, let's get on with this one. This is a re-review for this beer, 2016 version. Commercial description says English IPA brewed with British malt, Simpsons, British yeast, UK East Kent Goldings, and UK Admiral hops, and American formulation. Checking. Blackheart English IPA is a throwback to a historical ale brewed when English IPAs were hopped up to last a long voyage from England to the colonial troops in India. Using English malts, English hops, English yeast, and aged slightly in oak for a 19th century taste. Amazing artwork greatly contributed by Tim Lehigh and Jeff Rezier. Food pairs for this style of beer, guys. It says here, well, I haven't brought it up. Imagine that. That's not what I want. English style IPA food cuisine is curried in India. Cheeses are nutty Asiago Colby, Parmesan, sharp blue cheddar, and the medium shellfish. Glass right, a pint back and tumbler stein, mug, Sidell. I got my favorite glasses out of a beer glass. It says here not recommended for extended cellarings, which I would agree with, even though it's either an 8.5 or 9. Drink your IPAs fresh and your double IPAs as fresh as you can. That's the whole reason I'm doing this as quick as I am now. So didn't want just to set it in the fridge for 2 or 3 or 4 months like I did to Kyle's when he sent it to me back a couple years ago. So re-review of this one, guys. So let's get the cap off of this puppy and see what it is about. See if it's just as good as I remember it being. Big hiss on this one. Big hiss on this one. Very light color coming out of the bottle. It's a little darker in the glass. And I'm going to save the rest of that for the other half. About just a shade over a finger of head. Over to the light, guys, it is a rich copper color on the big bulb part here. A lot of bubbles streaming up. Very well carbonated. A little lighter on this thin part of the glass, but the bubbles are just going crazy in there. Very well carbonated. Let's get a nose on it. Oh, yes. Nice floral, herbal hop presence. Maybe just a slight hint of some grassy pininess in there. Caramel and toffee. It's got a rich, sweet maltiness to it. Now the English hops, the Kent Goldings, and I'm not sure about the Admiral, they're going to lend more of a herbal floral hop to it. It's just like the other European style hops, the English hops. The Kent Goldings and Tetanang and Saz, all those have a more floral, it's a more subdued hop. Got a nice sweet back end to it, it really does. And that's typical of the English style. And plus, from what I read, they may have put it in a little bit of a barrel. I'm not sure. It does not say that on here. But it says here English yeast is aged slightly on toasted oak for a 19th century taste. It does say 78 IBUs there, so it's time. Let's get it on. Thank you, Jeff. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Jeff. Definitely detect that floral, herbal, fragrant hop. It's not your West Coast style. It's not that piney, grapefruity, pineapple-y, in-your-face, super pungent hop. This is a more English. This is an English style. This is more subdued hop. If you're not a big hop head, you don't like that big piney, up-in-your-face style hop, this may be a good IPA or a double IPA to give a try, because it doesn't have all of that. It still has enough hops to balance out the maltiness of the beer, but it's not that up-in-your-face, super piney. A lot of people don't like that. They don't. I do. I'm a hophead. I do. But a lot of people don't, especially when they're first trying to get into this style of beer, either an IPA or a double IPA. English style would probably be the way to go. A little bit more caramel and toffee, a little more malty, but still has enough hops so it's not a malt bottle. Very well made beer. Not giving any of the alcohol at all. Floyds does some good stuff, but I hear a lot of comments that they are very arrogant people up there, and a lot of the breweries are, and they got a good thing, and they're making a lot of money, and everything is selling, flying off the shelves. You don't have to give a shit, I don't guess. I don't know. That is very tasty, guys. That's very pleasant, very nice, very well balanced. A great beer to get into a double IPA if you're not a super big hophead, don't like that West Coast style. A nice balance to this beer. Well, it's right out of the fridge. Let me pour her a glass and sip on this for a little while and see where this one ends up. Alright guys, I'm back. I've been sitting on about 15-20 minutes or so. Very tasty. Now that's warmed up a little bit, I am getting a little bit of that oakiness in there, a little bit of woodiness. But the whole idea behind the English style, and this is the original, this is what, like I read to you earlier, what they did in the UK, England, and shipped them over to the troops in India. They just hopped them up big time, because unless they did that, the beer would spoil before it got to India, with the ship voyage all the way around Africa and all that, how they had to get to India when the ships back then, the 1700s. It's not super hoppy, but it is hopped up a little bit for the English style. but it's a different type of hop, more floral, herbal than the West Coast style of honeyness and stuff. So very tasty, very, very tasty beer, very well made beer. Just wish they would have a little more information on the label, the IBUs and ABV, and they are dating their stuff, but you got to go somewhere. And when you have conflicting information from one site to the other, unless you go to their site, and I'm not even sure that they're going to tell you there. I never, hardly ever go to the site itself. I usually use Beer Advocate or Rate Beer to get the information that I give to you if it's not on the bottle. So with that being said, very tasty. Nice caramelly toffee notes, a nice floral herbal hop presence to this beer. Very well made. Alcohol is completely hidden for 8.5 to 9% beer, whichever it is. Very nice. I enjoyed this. Glad I reviewed it again on a much fresher bottle than when Kyle sent it to me, and I let it sit in the fridge for a couple of months like a dumbass. So you need to drink these beers and drink them as fresh as you can get your hands on them to get the full aspect of what the brewer's wanting you to have. Once this sets in a bottle 6 months or so, it's not going to taste the same, guys. It really is not. Even though the alcohol is still going to be good, as far as the ABV, it's not going to be bad or spoiled or anything like that, but it's going to be a lot more maltier than what they intended you to have. So, with that being said, let's do the final chug on this one. Wonderful aroma. Without that big, huge West Coast style hop, the caramel and toffee comes through, and you get to me, you get a more balanced or combined flavor from the beer than the West Coast. Because a lot of West Coast styles, all you're getting is the hops. Very rarely you can taste any of the kind of malts they use, because the hops just overpower everything. But this is pretty good. On the English style, it's a great beer. Final chug. For an English style beer, guys, this is a top-notch beer. It's an A beer. Very, very tasty. Just wish they would give us a little more information on the label instead of spending all their money on this fancy artwork and graphics. Leave a bit of room to put the ABV and the IBUs. And a lot of times the recipes change from year to year. That's why they don't want to do that, so they can use the same label over and over. Because this one basically has the same label that it did when I did the review 11/15, which was several years ago. So that is probably the biggest reason, and because they got to get the labels approved, and it's a process going through all that. And if they don't put it on there, they can use that same label over and over and over, no matter whether the beer is 8.5 or 9% or whatever it ends up being. So, but still, we want to know. We want to know without having to look it up. We can read it on the bottle and make a decision at the store, instead of having to get out your smartphone and wait till you get home after you bought it and look it up. So that's the only fuss I got. Floyds does some awesome stuff, guys. Wish I could get them here, and I appreciate Jeff and Kyle and everybody that sends me beers, Shane and both Brandons and Rico and everybody that sends me beers. Y'all are awesome, guys. Y'all really are. And I feel very blessed to be able to review these beers, and knowing that I cannot buy them here or get them here. So, with that being said, like I said, it's an A beer, 9 out of 10. And I may even, if it had the ABV and the IBUs written on the label, I may even give it a 10. It is a great example of an English style double IPA, or an Imperial IPA, however you want to call it. So, if I was putting a score on this one, guys, it would probably be 97 or 98 with the information that's on the label. Over to Beer Advocate, they say 91 in the outstanding range. It is an outstanding beer. If you are lucky enough to be able to get Floyds beers in your area, they don't have a huge distribution, you ought to pick it up. Especially if you don't like that West Coast style, super hoppy type beers. This is a little more subdued in the hop character. Over to Rate Beer. Rate Beer says overall 98 and 92 in the style. So we got a 91, a 97, and a 98, all A numbers. So it's an A beer, guys. Very well made. Alcohol super well hidden. If you drink all this by yourself, you're probably going to have your little buzz going on. So no doubt, which I didn't. I shared the other half. Of course, if I did, she'd probably want to beat me up. Let me know if you've had this one, guys. It's a great beer. It's just as tasty as it was when I did it a couple years ago. I think I got a little bit better malt and hop combination profile than when I did it before, the one that Kyle sent me, and I let it sit for a couple of months. But still, it's just as tasty. Another reason why you could probably let this one sit for a couple of months, because of the way they do the beer. This was in the English style, which was developed to make that long voyage around to India from the UK England area. So it would probably last a couple. And you know, it's not like the West Coast style where all those super pungent hops are going to fade. The floral hops and the herbal hops will last a little bit longer, in my opinion. That's just my 2 cents. That's what I'm thinking. Than that super pungent hops that fade so quickly. So if you've had this one from Floyds, their Blackheart English IPA, let me know what you think. Damn tasty beer, guys. Thank you, Jeff. I do appreciate it, sir. Come back tomorrow. Let's go see what's in the fridge. Hope we can dig something tasty out again. See you then.